Okay, in this problem, we're going to be looking at how to solve a quadratic equation using the square root property, and this is going to be the advanced. So if you need to watch the intro to that, please watch my other video on solving using the square root property. Okay, so what we're going to do is get the thing that's being squared on one side and everything else on the other. So what that means in this case is that I want this 8 to move away from this x minus 8 squared. So that'll give me x minus 8 squared equals 8. The reason I want to do that is because now I can use the square root property and put a plus or minus here. And that will give me x minus 8 is equal to plus or minus. Let's reduce that square root of 8. Here are my square numbers. So I have 2 squared, which is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64. That should be plenty. Okay, so the only one that goes into those is the 4. Okay, so we can rewrite this as the square root of 4 times 2. We can go ahead and take that square root and move it out. So it'll be x minus 8 is equal to plus or minus 2 root 2. Then I can add the 8 to both sides. And I can't combine it with either one of these. It's just going to be by itself. So x is equal to 8 plus or minus 2 square roots of 2. So if you wanted to write it as both ways, it would be x is equal to 8 plus 2 square roots of 2 and 8 minus 2 square roots of 2. Okay, so look at the next one. Just like the last one, I'm going to move this 36 to the other side. That will give me x minus 4 squared is equal to 36. Okay, take the square root of both sides and use the square root property to put a plus or minus right there. So luckily for us, the square root of 36 is something that we know. It's on our list. We know that square root of 36 is 6. So I get x minus 4 equals plus or minus 6. So add the 4. So x is equal to 4 plus or minus 6. So our solutions will be 4 plus 6, which is 10, and 4 minus 6, which is negative 2. Okay, let's do this. We add the 50 to the other side. So x plus 3 squared is equal to 50. And I take the square root of both sides and put the little plus or minus right here. So that'll give me x plus 3 is equal to plus or minus what? What goes into this? 25 does, twice, right? So this becomes square root of 25 times 2. We can square root that 25 and bring it out. It becomes a 5. So x plus 3 is equal to plus or minus 5 root 2. Subtract the 3. X is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 5 root 2. That's your solution. So it would be negative 3 plus 5 root 2 and negative 3 minus 5 root 2. Okay, 3 more. Let's move that 54 over to the other side by adding it. So x plus 4 squared is equal to 54. Go ahead and take the square root of both sides. There's the plus or minus. So we get x plus 4 is equal to, let's see, square root of 54. Let's remind ourselves of what the numbers are. Here are the square numbers. Should be enough. Which one of them goes into 54? It looks like 9 does. 9 times 6 is 54. So this will be plus or minus the square root of 9 times 6. We can go ahead and square root that 9 and bring it out. So x plus 4 equals plus or minus 3 square roots of 6. And then I subtract my 4 from both sides. I get x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus 3 square roots of 6. Okay, let's move this over by subtraction. So I get x plus 1 squared is equal to 20. I'll take the square root of both sides, put the plus or minus. Okay, so that gives us x plus 1 equals plus or minus. Here's our numbers. Do any of them go into 20? Yeah, 4 does. 4 times 5. So 4 times 5, and we know the square root of 4 is 2, so I can do that in the next step. X plus 1 is equal to plus or minus 2 square roots of 5. And then subtract the 1, and I get x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 2 square roots of 5. Okay, last problem. I move the 18 over by adding it. So I get x plus 9 squared is equal to 18. And if I square root both sides with a plus or minus, that gives me x plus 9 is equal to plus or minus, let's see, which one of the numbers here goes into 18? 4 doesn't, but 9 does. 9 times 2 is 18. And in our next step, we can square root the 9, which becomes a 3. So x plus 9 equals plus or minus 3 square roots of 2. Subtract the 9, and I get x is equal to negative 9 plus or minus 3 square roots of 2.